Welcome to this Sunday's Gospel reflection. Today we are celebrating the Holy Trinity, which is the beginning of what the liturgical time we call the ordinary time. It's so amazing to start an ordinary time with such an extraordinary, marvelous mystery, the Holy Trinity. Well, as the story goes, a young bishop whose diocese consisted of a number of remote islands courageously decided to go and visit these islands one by one. And he arrived in the first island. They were a simple, primitive fishing community. And when the bishop asked them if they had ever heard of God, they replied, "We are three, we are one, glory and praise." I said, "But do you know anything about doctrine and about the creed and the prayers?" And they kept repeating, "We are three, we are one, glory and praise." So he started to teach them some prayers, some doctrinal truths of the church and of the faith. And the people listened very respectfully. But every time he asked them if they were understanding his teachings, their reply was always the same. "We are three, we are one, glory and praise." Frustrated at the end, the bishop gave up, went back to his big boat to head back home. But barely was he in the open sea that a storm whipped up and became very, very dangerous. It was almost drowning. And at the time, the villagers, they came next to the bishop's boat in their very flimsy and small, poor canoes, and the bishop noticed that their canoes were just sailing as safely and on calm seas, whereas his boat was in all turbulence. And as they got near to him, they simply greeted him with their usual mantra: "We are three, we are one, glory and praise." And the storm calmed down. Well, what is the lesson of the story? Have you ever succeeded to describe a glorious sunset to someone? Have you ever succeeded to describe, analyze, explain the mechanics of how a mother looks or smiles at her child, or vice versa? Have you ever accurately dissected and discovered the mechanism by which love works? So why do we pretend to be able to describe, analyze, dissect, and understand with our brains the reality of love? Can you explain? Can you teach? Can you prescribe a universal single formula of what love should be? Love can only be a free choice, a lived experience. And we believe and we know that if God is God, He can only be love. All names, all descriptions, all definitions that we can give of God, including this concept of the Trinity, is an invitation to open our hearts and take the life-giving risk of experiencing God, experiencing love by living it. Like all names we give to one another, what counts is not how correctly you pronounce the name, but what really matters is with what love you call a beloved person's name. So the real question is not how to describe God, it is how to experience Him. Because God is love. We humans, thanks to Jesus, found the very best way to name love. Because love is the source of life. We know that love is Father. Because love is the gift of life. We know that love is the Son. Because love is endless, unlimited, a source and experience of perfect joy, of total belonging, and boundless presence. We know it is Spirit. We are three. We are one. Glory and praise. To know God has nothing to do with understanding what God is. That's a brain activity. To know God is welcoming and experiencing all that He is, all that she is, all that we are, all that they are. The only way to know God is to live as this elderly couple I would like to show you in the clip that will follow, who are living the divine beauty in their humble human fragility. No, I cannot explain God to you. I cannot describe God. I cannot define God. But just watch and pray who God is and how we come to experience Him through the love that we have for one another.
I don't count it a burden, whatever, to have to care for her. I need to do everything. From the moment she gets up to the moment she goes to bed, I do absolutely everything. Clean her teeth, shower, dress, everything. But it's a privilege. I count it a great privilege to care for this one that I've loved all of these years and continue to love. This is the year when we'll celebrate our 50th wedding anniversary. Our stories have been a lovely story. I first saw her when she was 8 years old, and her brother became my best friend. We grew up together, and as we grew up, yeah, she was there, and I knew that she used to stare at me when I was playing footy with her brother and another friend, and when we used to ride bikes, and she kept staring at me, but I wasn't interested. I was 17, she was 16. I saw her dolled up, dressed up, and she had an A-line dress on, and boom, it was gone. She was the one for me then, absolutely. When we first started dating, I used to ride my bike from where I lived to where she was, and that was about 5 kilometers on a Saturday afternoon, because it was the only chance we had to get together. And it was hair wash day for her, and she used a special cream in her hair for a shampoo, and I can still smell it because that smell was so particular, so nice. It was just absolutely special. We had a bike. I used to ride everywhere on my bike, and then Glad had a bike as well, and we put a baby chair on the front of her bike, and so we carried our babies around on the bike with her as well. So yeah, bike's been part of our lives, and I guess that has something to do with us now. Around about 2004-05, I began to notice that there were things going wrong. She was finally diagnosed with the horrible disease of Alzheimer's. Having lived overseas, I knew that with a bike you can do lots of things. So I had a bike made, a bike chair made. We take it to the beach and ride along beside the beach. And as we do that, we see lots of people. A lot of people come talk to us because it's a unique thing. Nobody else has got a bike chair quite like that one. I am determined to care for her every need, every need. You see, God has loved us so unconditionally, and I understand that God has put his love in my heart. And because I realize how much God has loved me, that's how I too can love my lovely wife. She has done so much for me over all of these years. Now she can't, but I can, and I can return her love. And it's a love that, well, to me, means I can do everything for her. She's my princess, I'm her William, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Would you have it any other way? No, not at all. We love each other.
Thank you, Lord, for creating us in your own image and likeness. You made us many, but you have made us to be one, just like you are three and you are one. Glory and praise. Thank you, and God bless you.